You might have come across these in your timeline. Maybe you're curious about them. Maybe you never read a single piece of Blue Archive main story in your life. Maybe you just haven't read the latest because you don't speak kanji so good. Well, if you intend to read it later and you just can't wait to know, or you're interested in contextualizing whatever derivative work you've seen, I've got you covered. I'll try to cover some level of background for the wholly uninitiated. Spoilers are inevitable, so don't say you haven't been warned. Our story starts in Blue Archives Volume 2. The first thing you need to know is that Aris, the cute blue-haired girl, is not human. She's something closer to a robot that the game development department picked up in some runes in Millennium. Her name isn't even actually Aris. It's actually AL1S, and she's the princess of the Nameless Gods. Mysterious big baddies whose cult creates mayhem every now and then in the main story. They seem to be on vacation recently though. We haven't seen them around in a while. Alongside the princess of the Nameless Gods, there's also Kei. Kei was originally a second personality that inhabited Aris' body. That personality originally had plans for Machine Apocalypse in line with the Forgotten God's will. Sensei and friends beat her, after which she started mellowing out. After abandoning her plans of world domination, she's had quite the journey, sacrificing herself in Volume F, living in a keychain, and later transferring to a hideous wheelie bot that only a mother could love. After everyone gets stomped by Malkuth, she then brats Rio and Himari into transferring her to a defected. No, I did not stutter. I did not mean defected. They transferred her into a defected body. We discovered this defected body lying around in a facility we stumbled upon shortly after breaking and entering into the Steel Continent. As of this video, we don't have any additional information about why there are random cute and funny antagonist bodies in reserve. And then Aris gives Kei her old clothes. She's added her own touches to them, like the vest and the knee socks. She also ties the ribbon on the back. Personally, I think that's an upgrade from Aris' side tie. That's the basic lore of how we got to Decagrammaton Kei. You can read Volume 2, Volume F in Decagrammaton if you want to experience the full journey of Aris and Kei. Kei and her association with the Forgotten Gods is able to use Forgotten God powers. Since Aris is not as attuned to her Forgotten God heritage and all of its associated powers, the senior Forgotten God mage Kei has been teaching Aris to use the powers as it becomes plot necessary. She does real magic, not like that fraud at Wild Hunt. That's been happening a lot, especially in the current volume, for the reason that the cute and funny trio use Forgotten God technology. And what do you do with that? You make battle suits for your gamer posse. Kei handles the matter manipulation with Forgotten God magic, but then there's still a key component missing to making snazzy outfits: the designs. Those are left to the Green Twin, resident artist of the game development department, Midori. Her art has been featured in many critically acclaimed games like Tales Saga Chronicles 0, 1, and 2, so she's naturally very qualified for the job. As a side note, there's also the perfect, self-proclaimed but not wrong, agent made Toki acting as the functionality consultant. And with that long-winded build-up, we're ready to talk about the alt costumes. We'll start with the twins. The twins get palette swap costumes naturally, because they're twins. Get it? In some timeline, maybe we had twins costumes that were more form-fitting. What we ended up with is something that looks like astronauts to me. I can't see any apparent inspiration. These suits boast the highest defense in the party, because if they're the last ones alive, they're to be tasked with cleanup. I personally couldn't tell if it was Black humor to mean taking care of everyone's remains or finishing the mission. For all that defensive power though, what do? Exaggerated tactical running away like in the PV. You're the tanks, cowards! People also joked about how bald they look without the headphone nekomimi. It's one more great mystery solved though. Turns out they don't die if you take them off. They also lost the alt release lottery, and with Decagrammaton reaching its climax and no release in sight, we'll probably have to wait for next year's rerun to see if they decide to release them at all. Continuing with released losers, it's Yuzu. Yuzu was also supposed to be an astronaut similar to Momoi and Midori, but that was vetoed by Rio, who insisted on her own outfit design. For reasons. To be the team's secret weapon, air quotes. So Yuzu gets this form-fitting design instead. Some would say it looks similar to a plug suit, but why would Rio need Yuzu in a not plug suit? Because astronaut suits get in the way of piloting giant robots, I would assume. Get in the robot, Yuzu, Rio commands. A bit more politely than Gendo though, I might add. My less than educated guess would be that this is an Evangelion reference. It's close-ish to Asuka. Best girl behind long hair Rei. Fight me. Another interesting detail to me was the baggy sleeves. Something I would expect for a mech suit. And after forcing Yuzu to wear a not plug suit, what did Rio get for herself? An even tighter cat suit. Yep. Like everything else in her utilitarian life, like surviving on half-price bento, this design is also the peak of utilitarianism. Repeat after me. This suit is for strictly functional purposes. The particulars of the design appear to have been pushed by Midori, who strongly defends her design decisions. It's supposed to be general purpose for field missions, facility infiltration, and situation analysis, all things that definitely require a catsuit. Additionally, it's suitable for electronic warfare, the likes of which is expected here on the Steel Continent. Maybe kind of like the Ready Player One suit. The black was designed to contrast Himari's white. We'll use that note to transition to Himari. Himari is finally rocking an outfit that keeps her warm. She insists it's all-purpose while maintaining delicacy and tidiness. And this isn't exactly the outfit itself, but it's worth calling out the Akira reference for the new Wheelchair's EX skill. Yes, it's a wheelchair. Her words, not mine. I've also never seen Akira, so my first experience with this reference was actually Yakitate Japan. Personally, I like this elf design a lot. It lost some of the Himari feel, but it's drawn by Seiya's artist, Koko Sando. And I think it's a good alternative take on what Himari's look and feel could have been. Forgotten God magic solved Himari's being too cold problem, but what about Eimi, who's always overheating? Well, she got a support suit, one that she's supposed to be wearing, but of course she got too hot and unzipped it, to wrap around her waist. Midori, the considerate designer, anticipated this and made it easy to wrap around the waist. Her zippers this time seem to be in much more normal locations. She's also had a weapon change, opting for a large energy weapon instead of her usual shotgun. Should we call it a railgun? I don't know. But with a big energy gun comes huge energy needs. She gets this energy from her ginormous battery pack, the one mounted on her back. Otherwise, her design kinda reminds me of Sumire between the sports bra and the yoga pants. You know who else is using energy weapons now? Toki, the first playable student using a different gun. She has abandoned the assault rifle secret time for a pair of energy pistols, search and recon. After getting trounced by Malkuth in her mech suit Abia Shuh, she's elected for an agility mode, partially just to try out a new look and feel. She also finally admits that the maid outfit was actually cold, and she's grateful that the new outfit is warm. Though she makes sure to note that her outfit without the jacket does quite emphasize her figure. So what happened to Abia Shuh? The exterior was damaged beyond repair, so Toki decided to give it to best Kohai Aris. A bit ironic since it was designed to combat the Forgotten Gods, and here their princess is getting it. She received it before they started working on the rest of the costumes, so it was the first of Project Costume by Kei. She told Aris to imagine something they would need. Imagine something that would use Abia Shuh as the base. Something filled with her untapped potential. You and I know there's only one answer to that. What meets all those criteria? Obviously, a Gundam! And not inspired by just any Gundam. Not Mustachio Gundam, not God Gundam, even if that was another correct choice, not Grandpa Gundam, but Gundam Seed. I applaud Aris on her correct taste in Gundams. Her railgun has also been lightened and enhanced for rapid fire. I was personally pretty delighted. It was telegraphed ever since promotional video 6 dropped, but still pretty dang cool. And that rounds out our light explanation of the new costumes. Which all costumes did you like? If you recognize any reference for the less than obvious outfits, please do let me know. Thanks for watching.